And I just got some fire content for you guys as far as your demo, your manual. And guys, this page that we're about to go over in this section in this Champs Club today, I do want to share with you that it all starts with your beliefs. So go ahead and pull out your notebook. We're going to talk a little bit about some beliefs here, and as far as demos and sales are concerned. So two things need to be true when you're learning how to close a sale. And for those of you that are just getting started and you're going to advanced training, just know that so far we've only taught you how to show Cutco. We haven't taught you how to sell Cutco. That's what advanced training is for. And you're going to hear a couple of these things again at advanced training today from 10 to 1. But if you've been to advanced training already, this is going to be a great reminder. Number one, closing is something that we do for the customer, not to the customer. Closing is something that we do for the customer, not to the customer. I always say selling Cutco is a service. It's not something that we ever do to someone. It's something that we do for someone. What do I mean by that? Guys, when we make the sale, we know they're going to be really excited about the product. I remember I was on a phone call helping Hawa out with the deal. Her customer had an Ultimate set, and they got it several years ago. And they're looking to add on some cookware, some flatware. They're like, I wrote this down because it was such a great reminder. But the wife, she's like, honey, we got to have everything in our kitchen Cutco. Like Cutco is the best. We can't have anything else. And I was like, wow, like I love that she has that belief and she's sharing that belief with Hawa. And I want you guys to have that belief too. Mine and Sebastian's mom started off with 2 knives. After I got started, she upgraded to a homemaker, then a signature, and then my younger brother upgraded her to an ultimate. We got her a flatware chest. She got some cookware. She has a Cutco kitchen at this point. She's a customer that spent less than $150 her first time. She now has over $6,000 worth of Cutco. She's like the Cutco queen. Why? Because we know that she loves it. She's going to use it a ton, and she's going to get really excited about it. The second thing that needs to be true, your customer always gets a better deal. No matter what you sell them, they're always getting the better deal. Let me give you an example. I remember when I was new and I was selling my first homemaker. It was to my neighbor. They just moved in. They moved into a house that like my parents kind of like flipped. They bought it. It was kind of like beaten down a little bit. We flipped the house. This family moved in. And my mom was like, oh, you should go meet the neighbors and just see like the work that we did in the house, because I hadn't looked at it yet, because I was just really busy with work. And I went over, I introduced myself to the demo, and like they showed me around the house, and I was like, this is great. But I remember when they said yes to the homemaker. This was my first one. It was on, I believe, day 7 of my fast start. I sold my first homemaker and still sold 10K, by the way. So some of you are like, man, I haven't sold a homemaker yet. That's fine. But I remember I was calling Darren. I was like, Darren, I got my neighbors on the homemaker. I got him on the homemaker. He said, wait, Jacob, let me help you frame something really quick. And he's like, Jacob, how much money did you make on that sale? I was like, I told him how much I made. It was like well over $150 because I was at 25%. And he's like, Jacob, how long is it going to take you to spend the money? I was like, I don't know. I've kind of already mentally spent my money because I know exactly what I'm going to spend it on. And as soon as I get the paycheck, I'm going to spend my money. He said, okay, that's fine. Like you can do whatever you want. But Jacob, how long is your neighbor going to have that homemaker set? And I was like, forever. It's Cutco. He's like, right. So who got who? Did you get them or did they get you? And I was like, oh. And I realized that the customer always gets the better end of the deal. My neighbors freaking love that homemaker set. They've added like Cutco over the years. They bought Cutco as gifts. My younger brothers upgraded them. Like they love Cutco. And yes, guys, I mean, do we pay you good commission? Of course. And my neighbor brags every time that I see her. Like I'll come back to my parents' house and she'll be like, Jacob, we love our knives. Hi. And that's how it goes. I can't wait for you guys to have a story like that a decade from now. So I just want to start off with those two beliefs. Next, I do want to make sure I touch base on this, but we've taught you so far, if you just gone through training, we've taught you how to show Cutco. Again, we haven't really taught you how to sell Cutco. We've taught you how to follow the manual. We've taught you how to show the videos, and we've taught you how to have fun. So what we're actually going to learn today in Champs Club, as well as at your advanced training, is how to actually sell products. So really quick, I do want some engagement here. Raise your hand if over the course of the past few days, you got an objection that was something along the lines of, you know what, Riley, I like it, but I got to get it later. Or I like it, but I got to talk to my husband. Or I like it, but it's a little bit too much money. You've all got some objections. By the way, if someone ever share with you, oh, I like it, but now's just not a really good time. I do want to share with you guys that there's never a good time to buy Cutco. There's also never a bad time to buy Cutco. People are cooking all the time. I could walk you through different parts of the year, and Sebastian will do this in advanced training with you, but there's always something going on. If you do a demo with someone in like the months between now and March and April, they're going to say, you know what, now's not a good time. We got taxes to pay for. Oh, summertime. Oh yeah, we got to pay for this. Oh, yep. Christmas time. Yep. We got gifts. Like there's never a good time. There's also never a bad time. I want you guys to like fully understand that. And then I do want to go over some dropping down tips. So first things first, I'm going to go over like the trial option, dropping down keys, and then the reserve your buy now bonus. So when you go to page 12, I want you guys to go to page 12 in your manuals. We're gonna have some fun. Really make sure that you guys are doing this well and efficiently. By the way, like page 12, I remember when I was new, my page 12 was like super choppy. Anyone relate? You're just like, I don't really know how to do this, but I'm trying my best and it's not working out. Yeah, I've been there. And by the way, guys, with page 12, what I do want you to understand is that 50% of your orders in your career, I'd say 60% will be pieces. 40% will be sets, 60% will be pieces, 40% will be sets, homemaker, galley, signature, starter sets, etc. So if most of your orders are pieces, we've really got to focus on this. So just to go over a couple of keys, bless you. Just to go over a couple of keys. Guys, I'm super passionate about Champs Club. I'm not a morning person. And in my fast start, I had to drive to the Oak Brook office at 7:30 in the morning, every morning. So I had to get up way before 7:30. I know some of you are just like crawling out of bed and jumping on Champs Club. And that's fine, by the way. I don't mind. I don't care. But just I share this with you because Champs Club is really what set me up for success. I went to Champs Club every day in my fast start, and that allowed me to book up more demos, gain some extra skills, and now I love running Champs Club. You know, so it's helped me get to now $1.6 million in sales. So we're going to talk about page 12 in a moment, but I want you guys now to scroll or open up page 9. We're going to go through page 9, a couple of things here. The close obviously goes from page 9 through page 12. Now, as far as just give you guys some keys. So you got page 9 open, you got your notebook open. Here's some keys. My first key for you all is to AFTO with confidence. AFTO with confidence. AFTO stands for ask for the order. You've got to ask for the order like you're asking for the time. What do I mean by that? Some of you are asking your customers to buy a homemaker like this. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you. Would you like to try out the homemaker set today and get your free super shears? Don't hurt me. Some of you are like really unconfidently asking, and that is not a good thing to do. And maybe you're just not like familiar or used to it, but like confidence is the most important part of a demo. So as far as a really easy way to do this is you want to, again, ask for the order like you're asking for the time. So if I was like, Emmanuel, what time is it? You would tell me the time. And it's just like, that's exactly how you want to ask for the order. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to try out the homemaker set today and get your free yes? Casual, low key. How's that sound? It's not. No big deal. You don't want to give them that, like, don't hurt me look. It's kind of just like when you go to Subway or Chipotle and they ask you, oh, do you want to get chips and guac? Oh, no, thanks. Are you offended that they asked you? No, I'm not offended. I don't think you guys are offended either. Are you offended when they ask you in the McDonald's drive-thru if you want fries with that? You're just like, actually, yeah, let's get some fries. And guys, it's not even pushy at all. It's just like asking. They ask that like they're asking for the time. But if you're asking, like, imagine in the drive-thru, they'd be like, do you guys want to add anything else? Maybe some fries to that order? You'd be like, all right, this is weird. This is weird. And you say, you know what? No, thanks. I'm actually leaving. And that's how some customers respond to when you're trying to sell them Cutco. So you want to ask in a really low key, confident way. Ask again, ask for the order like you're asking for the time. My second tip, always use those knee-jerk reactions. There's a line right there in your manual. If no, we're unsure, I want you guys to start it. Sometimes they'll give you the objection right away. Sometimes they won't. I remember when I was doing demos, a lot of the times they just said, you know what, I'm not sure. Or, oh, yeah, we got to think about it a little bit. So I always asked, hey, if you don't mind me asking, what is it about the homemaker that you're unsure of? And some of you might be skipping this and you're just dropping down to the next set. But what I do want to share with you is that 50% of the homemakers that we sell as a company are sold after the first no. So you ask for the order, customer says no, you use their knee-jerk reactions, and then they say yes. So if you're skipping these, you're missing out on 2 times as many homemaker sales in your career. If you haven't sold a homemaker yet, you know, that could be one way to really close your first homemaker. Now, what do the knee-jerk reactions do, by the way? It does 2 things. I want you to jot these things down. Number 1, it gives your customer a chance to reconsider. Because when you think about it, what did they just hear you say? They just heard you say $14.19. And most customers, by the way, they'll tune out everything they hear after they hear a price. They just remember the $14.19 and they're just like $14.19. And they just hear that and they don't hear anything else. Many times people don't even hear the 5 pay. Like, yes, they hear it, but like they don't understand it because they're just so focused on the $14.19. And they're just like, okay, $14.19, justify that. And they're just like in their head, just kind of like talking to themselves, $14.19, all right, for 18 pieces, you know, homemaker set, $14.19. But on the outside, they're just like this. But on the inside, there's like this whole dialogue going on. And I've had many customers say, wait, after I've like repeated, you know, and use these knee-jerk reactions, that they're like, you know what, I don't know if I could afford it. I say, okay, I completely understand. $14.19 is a lot all at once. That's why most of our customers split it up over 5 months, interest-free. It would be only $3.15 per month. How does that sound? And guys, I've had customers after I said that say, wait, it's only $3.15 today? You didn't tell me that. And I'm over here like, of course I told you that. I read the manual. And customers just forget about those details because they just tune everything out at that point. So realize that like customers will realize that they can split up over payments, and then they can also, that's where a lot of the orders will happen because they just forgot about the payment plans. So it gives people a chance to reconsider. They'll say, oh, I can split up over payments. Yeah, of course I'll do it. Let's do that. Or sometimes they like forget about like the 15-day trial. And then they're like, oh, you know what? We really need to think about it, Ava. I'm not too sure. Oh, I completely understand. $14.19 is a lot of money to be impulsive. That's why most customers take advantage of the 15-day trial. If you don't love it after a few weeks, you can send it back and get a full refund. On the 5-month plan, you could try it out for only $315 today. How does that sound? Oh, $315? Yeah, let's do it. I like to call the investment option an easy pay. It's an interest-free, fully refundable security deposit. They can always get it back. It's not like they put down their first payment and we keep it. If they don't want the knives, no, we'll give it back when they give the knives back, if that ever does happen. And the second thing that knee-jerk reactions do is it gives you knowledge as you drop down. Because your customer might say, you know what, Ella, I'm not too sure. And when you read the knee-jerk reactions, you'll go, okay, if you don't mind me asking, what is it about the homemaker you're unsure of? And then they tell you like, oh, it's a little bit too many pieces. Then you know that when you drop down to the galley, if you need to, you focus on the fact that the galley has less pieces. Because they didn't say it was too much money. They just said it was too many pieces. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to note that in my notebook. Customer said too many pieces. And then when I talk about the galley set, I'm going to emphasize the fact that it's a lot less pieces. Or it's a few less knives for a lot less money, which is in your manual. If your customer says, oh, it's too much money, I can't afford it. It's not that they didn't think that the set was too big or too small. They just thought it was a little bit too much. So what do? On the galley, you emphasize that the galley is a lot less money. What does this do for you? As a representative, I do want to make sure you understand some of the psychology here. At this point, your customer sees you as someone that's actually listening. You took your demo from a presentation, Adro, to a conversation. That's incredibly important. The number one complaint that most people have of salespeople is that they don't listen to them. Here's an example of that. They offer the homemaker, they're reading the manual, they say no. Okay, let me show you our galley set. Do you want to buy that today? Okay, let me show you our starter sets. Do you want to buy that today? Okay, let me show you our like list. Do you want to buy that today? And the customer never feels understood. They're like, does this person even know like why I said no? Does this person even know that I actually really like the homemaker set, but I was just asking if I could get a little bit of a deal on it. So I said it was a little bit too much money. Guys, as representatives, as sales reps, your number one job is to solve problems. You want to use solutions to help the customer. My goal for every single one of you is to use one of those knee-jerk reactions on every single presentation. You already should be. Some of you I know are not. And this is always really evident with like closing percentages and average order sizes. Yes, average order size is more so a product of like customer base, but using the knee-jerk reaction will really take your closing percentage up. And then at the bottom, let's say your customer still says no and they're unsure. No problem. We have a lot of different options. I'm sure we will find a set that is a better fit for you. I'll go ahead and show you our galley set. And then let's say my customer said it's too much money. What am I going to focus on with the galley set? Next is our galley set. It's a perfect starter set and it'll take care of all your needs. And that says, after we talk about the knives, it's a few less knives for a lot less money. Instead of paying $14.19 for the homemaker set, blank. Guys, on page 10, in this little box or like this little white area, blank area here, you want to go ahead and jot down galley set equals perfect solution. Galley set equals perfect solution. Gabe's been doing a really good job at like making this the perfect solution. He hasn't sold any homemakers, but he sold 2 galleys so far. and it's the perfect solution. So as far as when we think about the perfect solution, it's like, oh yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I know you guys said that the homemaker was a little bit too much. Here's what a lot of customers have found to be the perfect solution. Oh, Mrs. Jones, I know you guys said the homemaker was too many pieces. Here's what a lot of customers found to be the perfect solution. I guess like right then, I know you said that the homemaker was blank, and then you fill in like too much, too many pieces, whatever. I know you said that the homemaker was blank. Here's what a lot of customers have found to be the perfect solution. Here's what a lot of customers have found to be the perfect solution. I know you said the homemaker was blank, and that goes like too many pieces, too much money. Here's what a lot of customers have found to be the perfect solution. So again, one last time, I know you said the homemaker was blank. That's where you fill in like what they said. Here's what a lot of customers have found to be the perfect solution. Guys, people don't buy Cutco. People believe how much, people buy how much you think they should own it. And customers don't just buy just to buy. Sometimes they do, but most of the time customers buy because they feel understood. So if you can help a customer feel understood, it's going to be really easy for them to buy, or at least want to buy. Now, as far as, with that blank, of course, you're going to fill that in with a specific objection that you had received. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about the trial option there on page 10. And guys, here's a lot of sales and marketing skills. If you had someone say, I'll buy it later, or they're really on the edge, or maybe bought a couple pieces, I'm going to explain some philosophies behind this trial option and why it's really important. I'm going to reword it in a way that makes sense to you guys. I'm going to explain the whys behind this box, this trial option box. So guys, in simple terms, for you to know, the trial option is, yes, it's just the 5 pay, but we make it make sense to the customer in a really good way. So as far as step 1 says, so what you're saying is blank, and then you repeat the objection that they just gave you. Let's say they said no to the galley set. Okay, so, and they said it was too much money. So what you're saying is that the galley set's a little bit too much money? I completely understand. Why do we say that? Because when you repeat an objection, then they're like, oh, wow, Vera was listening to me. Like, she knows that it's just a little bit too much for us. She's not just skipping over. The next line, I completely understand. What does that mean, guys? People like to feel understood. So it's like, all you got to say is, yeah, I completely understand. The next line, I hope I didn't give you the impression that you had to make a final decision today. We're taking ownership. It's like, oh my gosh, Ms. Jones, my bad. I totally didn't explain that as good as I could have. You're taking ownership, and that's very, very powerful in a demo. And then what do we say after that? Most people find that they really like Cutco when they see it, but obviously want time to decide. So they just use our trial option. By the way, everything that I'm saying is just right there on page 10, right? I'm just explaining the whys behind it. And why do we say that line? Most people find that they really like Cutco when they see it, but obviously want time to decide, so they just use their trial option. We're just sharing with the customer that they aren't alone. By the way, nobody ever wants to be first, nobody ever wants to be last, and nobody ever wants to be left behind. So we're helping a customer feel not alone, not behind, not first, not last. Customers really appreciate that. Next, what we do says the trial option allows you to put only 20% down, which would be, in this case, $228 or $176, whichever they preferred. Then all your Cutco comes in the mail, and you and your spouse can try it out for 3 weeks. Cook a bunch of meals and make sure it's the right decision. You're basically painting a vision for them. It's like, okay, you're going to put 20% down. All you're going to do is put $228 down on your card. Then all of your Cutco comes in the mail, and you and your spouse can try it out for 3 weeks, cook a bunch of meals and make sure it's the right decision. And then they could see themselves, okay, so 3 weeks, I'm going to cook a bunch of meals, and if we like it, great. If not, that's also okay. And they're like, okay, I could see us wanting to do that. Guys, right after that, it says, that way you can make a more educated decision instead of an impulse buy. Cutco is the opposite of an impulse buy. They will not have buyer's remorse because they have 15 days to try it out. By the way, that's 15 business days. That is 3 full weeks as soon as the product has arrived. If you love it, then you keep paying 20% per month for the remainder. If you don't love it, then you can send it back and get a full refund. Now, just to explain some things here, guys, most customers, we help people understand that most customers do it on the 5-pack. You can make a more educated decision than an impulse buy. Would you guys agree that whenever someone says they need to think about it, that's probably like their main concern, which is like regretting it later? So they're like wanting to think about it so that they don't regret it. Yeah. Realize that, like, that's why we say what we say. If you don't love it, like, we're telling them what happens if they don't love it. If you don't love it, you can send it back and get a full refund. And we mentioned that, like, hey, we're, as we say all this in the script, it's like they understand it's an investment. It's not cheap. But also, I know you guys know this too, good things aren't cheap and cheap things aren't good. And we explain that no risk line. Then we ask for the order. You've got to ask for the order. You want to ask for the order with confidence. Again, like you're asking for the time. You guys want to go ahead and do that? So would you guys like to use the trial option? Not. You guys want to use the trial option? Don't do that. So do you guys understand why this trial option works really well? It works really, really well. By the way, some of you are like thinking, oh, like, can I use this at any other point in the demo besides just the galley? Yeah. Can you use this on the homemaker? Of course. Can you use this on a 5-piece special? Of course. So what I want you guys to do is, I know that you're on mute and I want you guys to stay on mute. We're not going to do this unmuted, but I want you to practice this out loud just so that you can get comfortable. This might be the first time that you're saying it. So the objection that all of you just got is your customer said it's too much money. And what I want you to do is jump in. So what you're saying is, go. So what you're saying is, and then go ahead and continue. I'll give you guys a minute to do this. Practice it out loud. Get really good at the words. I'd love to use the trial option, Ian. I was like waiting for someone to finish. Cool. Finish strong if you're almost there. Awesome. But that is the trial option. Who feels like they can give this a shot on one of their demos today? Yeah, let's do it. Give this a try. Guys, whatever option you can see that they like the most, like if you could tell they really like the homemaker and they don't say yes to the homemaker, use this on the homemaker. Or let's say they say yes to the homemaker and then you show them the signature and ultimate sets. And then they're just like saying no, use it on the signature and ultimate sets. That's what's going to help you make those sales, because they're like, oh yeah, we can just try out the ultimate set. What we don't like, we can figure out the rest later. Now, the next thing I do want to touch base on is something that I want you to put in your notes. So let's go to your notebooks. I'm going to talk about the buy now bonus. The buy now bonus. Guys, I'm about to teach you how to take your closing percentage from 50% to 90% in one small paragraph. If I could teach you guys how to make a sale on almost every presentation today, would you like to hear that? Yeah. Now you guys are like, wait, I'm glad I came here. Good morning. Here we go. So actually, I want you guys to go to your manuals. Page 11. Starter sets. Starter sets. What we do is on this page right here, the starter set page. One small line, one small thing right here that will change the game for you. Out of these starter sets, which combination do you like the best? Go ahead and circle that line. Circle it. Star it. Highlight it. Don't forget to ever say that. Have any of you ever gotten on page 11? You know what? We're not really looking to buy today after you asked that question. Which starter set do you like the best? You're like, your customer's like, I don't know if we want to buy anything today. And like they've said no to the homemaker and the galley, and now you're on the starter sets. The starter sets, I don't want you guys to like view the starter sets as like something to skip ever. The starter sets is neat, like this page is needed to give them, and then this is kind of free to jot down your notes. They need a comparison. I need to give them a comparison. So if your customer's like, oh, you know what? No, we don't like any of those sets, or we're not going to get anything today. It's like, oh, hey, can you just pick one for practice? You know, remember I'm doing these for practice. I'm doing these presentations all for practice. Can you just pick one of the sets for practice? Which one did you like the most? And they'll be like, okay, I'm going to pick the, and then they're going to go back to like, you know, practice mode. Okay, let's pick the essentials +5 set. And remember, we always have your customers jot down prices, and you also jot down prices too. When we think about it, on their piece of paper they have in front of them says $14.19, and then it says the galley price, which is like $10.24, and then they got the essentials price $7.99, and they see the prices going down. And then guess what? When you get to the like list, they're going to see maybe like a 600, then a 400, then a 300. And they see these prices going down. Most people, I'd say 95% of people, they would rather make a decision based off of prices that they see versus prices that they hear. This is why Amazon works really well. Sometimes they sell a product that's a little bit overpriced and people still buy it because they're not really comprehending the price. They're just seeing it and they're just like, I mean, I guess I could justify that. So most people buy things without hearing the prices. So it's just like when they see all the prices in front of them, make sure they're always writing down prices, by the way, like that's super imperative. So they can see the numbers dropping down. And by the time you see when you go to the like list on page 12, what's going to happen at that point is they see all the prices go down and then bam, they're going to say yes to the like list. And that's how you get your closing percentage up to 90%. It's not even one small paragraph. It's literally one line. But it's like, if you ever have a customer that tells you, you know what, we're not looking to buy anything today. It's like, oh yeah, no worries. Can you just pick one for practice? I'm still pretty new to the job. Can you just pick one of those sets for practice? Feel free to say no, of course, when I present it to you. And then I do want to touch base on page 12. I'm giving you guys the goods today. And if you're going to AT, if you just got started, this will like, you're gonna understand it a lot more deeply at advanced training because you're not like hearing everything for the first time. So we're gonna come back to like those charts at the top in a moment, but the buy one piece, reserve buy now bonus, preferred customer program. I'm gonna read the approach first, and I'm gonna explain what it means to you. So Mrs. Stern, Mrs. Jones, it sounds like you love Cutco, but now just isn't the right time. Most people who like Cutco and think they'll get a set in the future just end up reserving the buy now bonus. By getting one piece today, you become a preferred customer. So in the future, you could still get the discounts and savings you'd be getting if you did get the whole set today. And it really helps me towards my goals. Which is your favorite piece? Blank. That piece is only blank today. Would you like to try out your favorite piece? So guys, if Aunt Susie says she wants to buy a homemaker on Friday, literally like tomorrow, and you're doing a demo with Aunt Susie today, guys, they won't be able to get the kitchen tools for free, or the super shears or whatever they want for free. The buy now bonus is only on the demo. So this is why we always want to encourage you to get them some Cutco on the demo. Why get the trimmer if they're getting the homemaker next week? Or why get the trimmer if they're getting the homemaker next year? Because, hey, guess what? When the trimmer comes in the mail, they're going to take the trimmer out. They're going to use it, and they're going to love it, and Cutco's going to be top of mind. And by the way, let's say they're like, yeah, we'll get the homemaker next week. They could get the trimmer today. And let's say they do get the homemaker next week. What they do is they literally can just take the trimmer that they just got, take it out of the block of the homemaker that they just bought, and they could just send that back. They get fully reimbursed, and they'll actually get that $80 or whatever the cost of the trimmer is. So I always like to ask Mr. and Mrs. Jones, what do you guys think? Do you just want to do the trimmer today so you can get the kitchen tool set for free when you get the homemaker next week? And then we'll just help you send the trimmer back. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. I do want to get that free stuff. You guys heard the story of Alicia Southern. She was closing a lot of these sales because she was always making sure that she secured the buy now bonus for them. And as far as just like with all that, it's really important that your customers, I want you to understand, your customers are not like lying to you when they said they're going to buy it next week. They think they're going to buy it, right? They're kind of convincing themselves, yeah, we're going to get it next week. But guys, what are the chance, or what % chance is it that a customer actually buys later? We already know this as Cutco reps. It's 0%. They won't. Guys, I'm still waiting for people to call me back 5 years later. Yeah. I'm still waiting for people to call me back. I'm not even waiting for them anymore because I know it's not going to happen. But what you want to do is find one piece that they're comfortable buying today. If we know that they won't buy later and it's a 0% chance, do you think the chance goes up a little bit if they get even that one trimmer today? Yes, they're going to get that trimmer. The trimmer is going to crush it on those tomatoes, and they're going to get paper thin slices, and they're going to be like, wow, I'm so glad that Riley sold me this trimmer. This will keep Cutco top of mind. And then Riley's going to give a call to her customer a month later, say, hey, Ms. Jones, I know it's a month later. How are you liking your trimmer? Oh my gosh, we love our trimmer. I'm so grateful that we got this piece. And it's like, great. Are you guys ready to upgrade to the homemaker? They're like, let's do it. Because they see that they really love the product. It's going to boost the chances of you actually selling more product later. But if they get no Cutco today, then that future sale will most likely not happen. The trimmer, by the way, is going to be like your best friend. You're gonna be selling that thing like crazy. You put it on a toupee, that's $40 today. 45 with tax, whatever. I always recommend a double D edge for them. Can you do a table knife? Sure. Can you do a cutting board? Sure. You just have to suggest things. If they say, got to talk to my spouse, you can say, oh, I'd hate for you to lose out on the shears that you really love. So let's enter that order that for sure you're going to get. And that way, when you call me back with your husband later tonight, we'll just switch the order, no problem. Did you guys see how I worded that? We'll switch the order. We're not canceling the order. We're just going to switch it. So 1 or 2 pieces is way better than 0. And then page 12, I know we practiced this bottom part in training, so I'm not going to have you guys say it out loud. But who feels like they understand the buy now bonus, the trial option a little bit more today? You're just like, okay, I see why we say what we say, and I'm going to actually do it now. Yeah, I remember being in training, and I was like, light bulb moment, and I started selling a lot more. Last thing I want to show you guys is, okay, let's say your customer said no to the starter sets. They've got a price comparison, and right now we're building up a like list. We're on slide, in viewcutco.com, we're on slide 32 with all the knives. Remember, most of your orders will be I don't know why Siri just turned on. Most of your orders will be made on this page, on the slide 32, on the like list. So if most of your orders are made on this page, it's really important that we frame it the right way. Now, how do we frame it the right way? I'm gonna have a, let's see, I'm gonna have a manual. Can you be my customer real quick?
Of course.
Of course, thank you, Emmanuel. So let's say you're my customer on the rep, and then I'm reading, I say, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, let's make, or you can customize your own set, and I could probably still get you something for free. Let's make a list of all the items that you liked and could see yourself using throughout your life. And then go ahead and by the way, like I always have like this open. You can either have like the wish list website open, but if I'm ever sharing it with the customer, I like to share like the actual like orders website, because then I could add things pretty easily. So it's like, okay, let's make a list of all the items that you liked. What's the first piece?
The trimmer.
Trimmer. Cool. I'm gonna go over here. Trimmer. Add it to the cart. What else?
I also did like the spatula spreader.
Spatula spreader. All right. Spatula spreader. What else?
I like the petite chef.
Petite chef.
Yes.
All right. And have you guys just pause? Have you guys ever had like someone not get to 5 and they're like, okay, yeah, that's it, and they only pick like 2 or 3 or even 1 piece? A great question that you can write in your page 12 to get them to 5 is this. Oh, what were a couple of your other favorite pieces? What were a couple of your other favorite ones? Why do we do that? Because guys, it's always easier to drop down from 5 pieces to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 versus them giving you 2 pieces and you really not being able to do much with that. So I'm going to ask Emmanuel, what were a couple other of your favorite ones?
I would say another one I did like is the slicer.
Slicer.
Yes.
Awesome. Oops. Slicer. Great. And then what else?
Let's see. The holy cheese slicer.
Cheese knife. Yeah, you like that cheese knife joke earlier, huh?
Yes.
Great. And awesome. So, you know, by the way, if your customers are like struggling to get to like that 5, or maybe they're at 3 or 4, you could say, oh, hey, Mr. Jones, or hey, Mrs. Jones, when you pick 2 more, I could tell you about our first special. Or, oh, when you pick 1 more, I could tell you about our first special. So my first tip for you guys is always get them to 5 on this page. Always get them to 5. It's always easier to drop down from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 than it is to go from 2 to 1. By the way, did like Emmanuel hesitate when I asked that question? No, he's like, okay, yeah, I also like the slicer. I also like the cheese knife. It's not like a pushy question. If they say, oh, these are the 3 I really like, then that's fine. You could stop there and you don't need to like fully encourage them. But I always encourage people to get to 5. And I say, great, we have some incredible deals going on. I read special number 1. This is how you should do the specials. If you've been struggling with these a little bit, this is how you can close on more of these specials. So you go over here. So for special number 1, we see pick any 5 knives, excluding the table knives, and you get a pair of super shears or 4 table knives for free. Emmanuel, which one would you prefer?
I really did like the super shears.
Super shears? Great. So here's the super shears. Add those to the cart. I'm going to give those away to you for free. And how do we present the price, by the way? In your manuals, there's like this whole box right here. This is exactly how you want to frame it. So you go, all right, so the retail price of all the products that you like today, Emmanuel, is $663. Mr. Jones, your special is going to be right at $538. We're saving $125 today, taking your price down at $538. And what we could do is we're saving you, again, $125, and monthly, that's only going to come out to $110 today, plus a little bit of tax. If you don't know exactly what their tax rate or how to calculate that is, you could just say, yeah, that's only going to be $110 today and a little bit of tax. You guys see how like that flows really well? It's like boom, 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 boom. If yes, congrats. If unsure, then you just go to the next two. Some of you have been doing these as like 1-by-1 specials, but these next two specials are meant to be worked in unison together. So let me show you how that works. So I say, oh, no problem. What one piece could you live without for now, Emmanuel? Which one piece on here could you live without for now?
Cheese knife.
Cheese knife? Cool. And by the way, I'm also deleting the super shears because that no longer counts for the deal anymore. So then I offer special 2 and special 3 at the same time. So Mr. Jones, our next two specials, we've got the pick 4 special where when you pick any 4 knives, you get the cheese knife for free, or you buy any 3 knives, you get your 4th piece for free. So would you rather get the cheese knife for free or save some money?
Gotta save some money.
Okay, great. And you guys can draw like a bracket right here, like by special 2 and 3. So you like connect them and offer them at the same time. I recommend that. And you can write down free stuff or save money. Free stuff or save money. So I'm going to quiz you guys all really quick. Which item are we going to give for free on this order?
Nothing.
Spatula spreader, right?
Spatula spreader. We call this the spatty. We're going to give away the spatty for free. Boom. Just like that. Now I say the same exact thing that I said earlier with like this framework, this layout. And I say, okay, so the normal price of everything that you like today, Emmanuel or Mr. Jones, will be $439. I saved you your special. I was able to take that down to $359 today. We saved you $80. And monthly, that's only going to be $121 plus a little bit of tax for 3 months. So go ahead and jot down $359, draw an arrow, go and write down 121, circle it. It's gonna be 121 plus a little bit of tax for all of your 4 favorite pieces. And when they say yes, congrats, you're gonna love your Cutco. If they're unsure, no problem. What are your 2 favorites? So Emmanuel, what are your 2 favorites? Let's say you told me no here.
2 favorites would be the trimmer and the spatula spreader.
Trimmer and spatula spreader. So realize I'm unbonusing first. And I go here, delete those 2. And then I go, okay, great. Now, as far as the 2, the next special, as you guys can see, choose any 2 knives totaling over $100 and they get the ice cream scoop or large cutting board for free. You can also write down a couple other options. If those 2 options aren't super exciting, they can get a peeler, and they can also get a table knife if they wanted to. So not like all of these, by the way, just like one of them. So it's ice cream scoop, cutting board, peeler, or table knife. And then I'm going to ask, oh, which one would you prefer? Emmanuel, would you prefer getting a free ice cream scoop, a free veggie peeler, a free cutting board, or a free table knife with these 2?
The ice cream scooper.
Scoop. Cool. I'm going to add that to the cart. Now this is how I frame it. So the normal price, I'm going to say the retail price, just like it is on the side. The retail price of everything is $212 today. Mr. Jones, you're special. We're going to be able to take that down to $161. And I'm saving you $51. And we can't split this up over 2 payments. That's going to be $82 today, plus a little bit of tax. $82 plus a little bit of tax. How's that sound?
And still a little much.
Okay. And then I'll go at this point, guys, I'll go down to the buy at 1 piece, the buy now bonus, or yeah, the reserve buy now bonus. So then I go, sounds like you love Cutco, but now just isn't the right time. And I'll go right into that. So that is how you want to do page 12. Specials 2 and 3 go together. Always get them to 5. But who feels like this is a little bit more clear now as far as like how to actually do that? Awesome. And it's going to feel a lot more clear after you implement it. So a quick recap on what we learned here today. So number 1, we talked about closing beliefs. If you want to jot down a quick recap for yourself, we did a little talk on closing beliefs, We also talked about asking for the order with confidence. We also talked about always doing the knee-jerk reactions. We talked about making sure that we mentioned that the galley set is the perfect solution. We talk about the trial option and whys behind it. We talk about why we use the starter sets page. We have them always pick one just for practice. And then we also taught you guys how to use the orders website, how to do a deal with it, see the prices, the deals, all like that very easily. So what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and in your notes, put a star in the section of what you really liked from today. Just put a star in the section where you really liked, or what you really liked appreciate or really liked hearing today. And I apologize, I'm just seeing the chat. So if you like ask me a question, I'm just seeing it now. Yeah, it's always okay for them to give you 5 options to start off. That's good too. But again, put a star in your notes next to the one thing that you like today. I'm having you do this, guys, because you will remember it more. And you'll actually do it on your demo. And then do me a favor. Do me a favor and text that thing to your manager. Be like, hey, hey, Jacob, hey, Sebastian, hey, Dan, I'm at Champs Club right now. I learned some fire. This is my #1 takeaway. Anything along the lines of that. I really don't care what you say, but just like why I'm having you do this. I don't do this because I want your manager to think that I'm an excellent teacher. This is just my teaching style. When you do this, it's going to solidify that takeaway in your brain. And when you text that takeaway to your manager, you're going to remember it more. So I want you guys to all text that thing to your manager. What did you really appreciate learning about today? And what are you excited to implement? Go ahead and look at the chat box or look at your notes. Maybe you already have a star by that. But go ahead and send that takeaway to your manager. And I'm going to stop the recording here. But it was great hearing you all, and it's great having you all here for Champs Club. And of course, I just want to share that if you're watching this recording, yes, I also want you to send to your manager your takeaway. We'll probably get some random text throughout the day, and that's cool too. But this is a really powerful skill set that you guys are building up really early on in your career. So go crush your demos with this, and time to make some calls.